Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, what Prahlad learned in the womb, text number 29. Tadropaya sahasranam ayam bhagavato dita harishvare bhagavati itaya anjasarati tadropaya sahasranam ayam bhagavato dita Yarishvare Bhagavati Itaya Anjasarati
Tatropaya Sahasranam Ayam Bhagavato Ditaha Ishvare Bhagavati
Tommy.
Tatropaya sahasranam ayam bhagavato dita Yadishvare bhagavati yathayantas anjasarati.
Tatra, in that connection, getting out of the entanglement of material conditioning. Upaya, of processes. Sahasranam, of many thousands. Ayam, this. Bhagavata Udita, given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yat, which, Ishvare, unto the Lord. Bhagavati, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yata, as much as. Yai, by which. Anjasa, quickly. Rati, attachment with love and affection. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Of the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process is the performance of duties by which love for the Supreme Lord develops. Purport. Among the linking processes that elevate one from bondage to material contamination to the one recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be accepted as the best. The process is clearly explained in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. This process is the best because the Lord assures, Aham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshisyami Masuchaha. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. There is no need to be worried, for the Lord Himself assures that He will care for His devotee and save him from the reactions of sinful activities. Material bondage is a result of sinful activity. Therefore, the Lord assures that He will dissipate the results of fruitive activities. There is no need to be worried. This process of understanding one's position as a spirit soul and then engaging oneself in devotional service is the best. The entire Vedic program is based on this principle, and one can understand it as recommended in the Vedas. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaite kahita yadhartha prakashante mahatmanaha Unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. Shveta Svatarupanishad. One must accept the pure devotee, the representative of God, as one's guru, and then offer him all respects one would offer the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the secret of success. One who adopts this method, the perfect process is revealed. In this verse, the words Yar, Anjasa, or Ti indicate by offering service and surrendering to the spiritual master, one is elevated in devotional service. And by performing devotional service, one gradually becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of this attachment to the Lord, one can understand the Lord. In other words, one can understand what the Lord's position is, what our position is, and what our relationship is. This all can be understood very easily by the simple method of Bhakti Yoga. As soon as one is situated on the platform of Bhakti Yoga, the root cause of one's suffering and material bondage is destroyed. This is clearly explained in the next verse, which gives the secret of success. So the verse again. Tadropaya sahasranam ayam bhagavato dita irishvare bhagavati yatayar anjasarati. Of the different processes recommended for disentanglement from material life, the one personally explained and accepted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be considered all perfect. That process of performance of duties by which love for the Supreme Lord develops. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shinivadi Paskyadyade Satarane. And then in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarva Dharma Prajaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Twang Sarapapevyo Mokshisyami Masuchaha. I'll give up all rights of religion and just surrender to me. And in return, I'll protect you from all sinful actions. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. Now, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking to Ramananda Roy, Lord Chaitanya asked him, what is the goal of life and how to achieve it? So Ramananda Roy began with Varnashrama Acharvitaha Purushena Paramaknuman Vishnu Radite Panta Tatoshima. So he began with Varnashram, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Eko Bhaya, that this is external. If you know something better, you can go forward. And then Ramananda Roy quoted from Bhagavad Gita different verses, like Sarva Dharma Prajaja, for example. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is also external. If you know something better, go forward. So here's the best process. According to Srimad Prabhupada's purport in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you know something better than this, go forward. But this Prabhupada said is the best. So we're all confused. But it's just different angles of vision, that's all. From the point of view of what's the progress of coming to the perfectional stage, the best, or at least part of the best, is to give up everything, surrender to Krishna, and don't have worries about anything else. And this is in 6 stages. Namely, anukulyasya sankalpe, to accept everything favorable. It is not that immediately we're going to develop the pure mentality of Krishna consciousness, but we have to take to the process by which gradually our consciousness can be transformed, and that's accepting things that are favorable. Namely, especially the chanting of the holy names, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, worshiping the deities, serving the devotees, and living in a holy place. These are the processes that we accept, which can change our consciousness. If we focus our mind upon Krishna, then our consciousness can change in these 5 activities. If we just mechanically perform these activities. We come to worship the deities, and there's a deity, and there I am, and there everyone else is. And I hope they recognize or remember that I'm here, so they think I'm a nice person, I'm a good devotee. And I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why I'm here. And I got so many things to worry about. And anyhow, I'll stay here anyhow, although I'd like to leave. But because I'm a good person, I'll stay here. Maybe something miraculous will happen, but I got too many things to think about. No, we actually have to think, well, what am I wasting my time? If I'm here, I might as well do something while I'm here in Krishna consciousness. Everyone else seems to be singing. Maybe I should even listen to what they're saying. Although I know they're really devotees, but anyhow, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and listen to them a little bit. See if anything happens. No, we have to concentrate. We have to try to understand there's no need to concern ourselves with so many other things that are going on right now. So many things will happen in the future. So many things that have happened in the past. We know there's a coronavirus, and we know there's so many problems going on. It's winter, coming to winter. I wish it was summer still. So many different things. But put those all aside and try to hear with attention. And if one can hear with attention, try to develop some appreciation for what we're hearing. Try to work on our mood. Try to work on our attention, our mood, our absorption in what we're doing. So that's anakoyasya sankalpe. In order to do that effectively, pratikoyasya varjana. We have to give up activities that take our minds away from Krishna, that have nothing to do with putting our mind on Krishna. We have to put those aside. Then rakshishya titi vishva. So one will begin to see that Krishna will actually protect me from my own self, from my own desires. Now, when we took birth in the material world, when we appeared here in this particular incarnation, it wasn't necessarily due that we were sent here by Srimati Radharani to save all the conditioned souls. We took birth here out of ignorance. That's called avidya. In our last lifetime, we were identifying ourselves with our gross and subtle body to some degree, and we had so many desires left unfulfilled after our last incarnation, and we came here to fulfill them. And that's called avidya, all based on ignorance. We could have went back to Godhead if we would have thought, I'm Krishna's eternal servant. What am I doing here? Maybe I should go back and visit Krishna. No, we came here, we thought, well, I got so many things to do in this material world. I still haven't become God. Maybe I should give it one last chance. Who knows? Give it an old, as they say in America, give it the old college try. One more time. And the result is, there is what's called papam. Our collection, we have a whole collection of sinful desires, a whole collection of sinful activities that we have to get the reaction for. But we just, in this lifetime, we got a particular set of sinful activities and sinful desires that we're going to work on. The top ones on our list, the ones we put priority on, this is the one that we're going to work on. There may be a whole ocean of material desires underneath, but anyhow, these are the main ones for this lifetime. So that's called papam, namely our propensity. I got to do this, I got to accomplish this in this lifetime, and then I'll be happy and peaceful. And that leads to what's called a prarabdha. And prarabdha karma means the very activities that we can see with our eyes that we're doing. And aprarabdha karma means the whole background of those activities. There's a whole background, perhaps since time immemorial. We've had a certain tendency to do something. And therefore, what we're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg, they say. There's a very profound layers of desires and sinful activities that go, which are called aparabdha karma. And then we perform the activity, which is called parabdha karma, and we get the reaction. But we also get the tendency to want to do that activity again. Prabhupada gives the example of the desire for illicit sex. So one has illicit sex, and the result is that one gets the reaction. Prabhupada gives the example of syphilis. One may get venereal disease as a parabdha karma. But then one tries to cure it, and if it's cured, still the tendency is there, called kutam, to have further illicit sex. One doesn't think, well, I suffered so much. No. Try it one more time. This time it's going to be different. It's going to be much better. The angels will come out and they'll sing. Everything will be all right. Don't worry about it. So that's called kutam. The tendency towards the very thing that causes suffering to do it again. For us, it's like, we knew we overate the last Sunday feast and I got sick. But this Sunday feast will be different. This Sunday feast, I'll eat twice as much as I can, but by the mercy of God and the digestive power, it's all going to be all right. Don't worry about it. It's all prasad prabhu. It's not material. Your sickness is also spiritual. It's divine. And that kutam results, that tendency towards sinful activity, results in sinful activity. That one has a tendency to steal in this lifetime, and then one steals, parabdha karma. The underlying karma that forced one to do it may be very strong and not so strong. But then if one does steal actually, because one is not forced to steal, one can think, well, all right, maybe I shouldn't steal. And then the parabdha karma dissipates. But if one steals, then the desire to steal will again manifest itself in the future. One takes birth, and one notices the parents, even as a baby, one has a tendency to, when no one's looking, to grab something and hold on to it, hide it somewhere. That tendency to steal is there. And then one grows up, and then one joins the mafia. The tendency to steal gets full possibilities. And it goes on. One performs sinful activities, and it goes on and on. And the root cause is avidya, or ignorance. Ignorance. And what is that ignorance? The ignorance is I don't know that I'm not this body. And therefore I'm being forced to act according to my dictation of my senses. And even if I don't follow my dictation of my senses, I don't know that I have something superior I can do. Namely, I can utilize these body, mind, and words in Krishna's service, and then this tendency towards sinful activities will go away. Or as it says here, that dissipate the results of fruitive activities. It's not that we're going to dissipate all our bananas, all our apples, all our cherries, and whatever else we work so hard for will dissipate. They'll go away. No, the result of fruitive activities means the result of sinful desires, sinful activities, sinful tendencies, and avidya, ultimately not knowing what we're actually supposed to be doing, for our spiritual benefit, at least. That these tendencies will go away. Krishna will remove them, and therefore we'll be situated on the spiritual platform of our real existence. And whatever is going on externally won't make any difference to us, because we'll see it's not me doing these activities. either spiritual or material. Even the spiritual activities we'll see are being carried out by the spiritual energy, by Ladini Shakti, and they'll all be blissful. And whatever they are, we know it's being carried out by Krishna, and it's good for everyone, including ourselves. And if we're still engaged in some kind of material existence, we're not fully engaged in spiritual life, in spiritual consciousness, because spiritual life means spiritual consciousness. Still, we won't identify ourselves exactly as the doer. We won't be so much worried about what the results will be. Am I going to become rich or famous? Am I going to become loved, or am I going to live for 110 years instead of 109? These things won't bother one anymore because one will be aware of the fact that these things are external to me. What I should be interested in is myself rather than everything external. And the external things should be utilized to help me understand my real self and my relation with Krishna. So, Rakshisha Siti Vishva, so Goptrive Varnam Tata. Then one will see that whatever we need will actually be supplied by Krishna. He'll actually maintain us. He'll help us become Krishna conscious, and if we need something material, he'll also carry it. It may not be what we wish. We may want a Mercedes-Benz, and Krishna sends us a bicycle. We may be disappointed, with my birthday. I thought you could do better than this after you were God. But Krishna knows if we got a Mercedes-Benz, we would get into difficulty. But hopefully we'll be able to use a bicycle properly. Goptrive Varnam Tada Atman Vikshepa Sankalpe Karpa Atman Sankalpe Karpanye. Then we'll always have no interest outside of Krishna's interest. We'll see that I'm spirit, Krishna is a spiritual being. We're both by nature in love with each other. We're in love with everyone. Our real interest is to help and serve everyone, to come to the spiritual platform, wake up out of this very difficult dream that we're under, where there's always a struggle. Wake up from it. That's my interest. That's Krishna's interest. We have the same interest, and therefore I desire that I act as Krishna's instrument, so that Krishna is happy, and we can work together to bring Krishna's other children back to Krishna consciousness. Then, Karpanye, one will always be meek and humble, realizing that Krishna is so wonderful, the devotees are so wonderful, and one will always feel himself inferior. Inferior, not in a bad sense, but one will realize that the more one has love for everyone, the more one can appreciate everyone, then the more one has less false ego. That love and humility go together. The more you love someone, the more you appreciate how wonderful they are, unless you think of yourself as so wonderful. So Krishna has love for everyone. He thinks himself to be subordinate to everyone. Although he's God and nothing works without him, still he thinks himself to be subordinate. Even Srimati Radharani, she's the great Mahabhagavat. She thinks that I'm not really quite a servant yet, only due to the association of my friends and my assistants, that I'm able to render some service to Krishna. Other than that, then what can I do? So she's the emblem of unlimited humility, because she has also the emblem of unlimited love. And therefore she sees everyone as so wonderful. Krishna is wonderful. Krishna's service is wonderful. So she thinks, well, maybe one day I can become like they are also. So we're thinking ourselves very proud. We're amazed by our great service. We're doing so many things. We're heading in the wrong direction. Krishna will be so kind. He'll make sure that he takes everything away. Yasya anugrahami karishe tadanai shanai. So that we realize that actually the whole universe didn't depend upon me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement will still go on. even if I don't save it. Inconceivably, by who knows how it's going to go on without me, but at least that's a theory. No, we should feel that we should do something significant to help, but at the same time we should feel karpanye, that what we're doing is the whole universe doesn't depend upon me, that everyone is already wonderful, Krishna is wonderful, everything is already wonderful beyond my conception. All I can do, my advantage of being in this movement is I can realize how wonderful everything already is. And then I'll be happy, and I can try to help others understand how to become happy by also realizing how wonderful Krishna and whatever Krishna is doing is. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this Sharanagati verse, Sarvadharma Parityajya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you know something better, then please tell me. So why did he say that? Maybe he forgot. Maybe he forgot what he said as Krishna. He got confused. He's so ecstatic as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He forgot what he said in the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe he never read the Bhagavad Gita. So what's the answer? Is there an answer? Well, you have to ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No, the answer is that Ramananda Roy, he came up with a verse by Lord Brahma, Yane Priyasam Udapastanamanta Eva. That before we can accept the Sharanagati verse, the Krishna spoke so many other verses. We can't start with Sharanagati. You don't go on the street and tell people, you know what's the best advice I have for you? And they say, no, what? Give up everything and surrender to Krishna. Who's Krishna? Just surrender, don't ask questions. And why should I surrender? Because he'll take away all your worries. He'll take away all your sinful reactions. Are you accusing me of being sinful? Yeah, of course you're sinful. You're in that body. I can see your body. You're a criminal. You've done so many sinful activities. They're all stored up in your heart. You're lucky you're not in hell right now. Give up everything. I'm the truth, the way, and the light. Repent, sinner. No, people will not appreciate that. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in order to actually start the process of devotional service, he recommended Gyane Priyasam Udapasanamanta Eva. First of all, give up the tendency to speculate. No, what is speculation? Realize to some extent or another, we don't know what's going on. We may imagine, we think we know what's going on, but we don't even know who we are. If we knew what was going on, we'd be self-realized. We'd realize at least my eternal identity. If I knew what was going on, I would know who I am. But if I don't know who I am, what is the use of thinking I know everything that's going on here? I don't even know who I am. And I don't really know, I haven't had direct, full realization of the person who's created this whole thing and why he's doing it, what my position is, what I'm doing here. So I may imagine myself, I know so many different things, but if I become a little humble, then I may want to hear, maybe I'll learn something. Gyane Priyasam Udapasta Namante. Put aside these ideas. Maybe they're right, maybe they're not right, but put them aside and maybe we can learn something new, something important. And Jivanti Sanmukharitam Bhavadiya Vartam, hear from someone who knows, or from someone who's heard from someone who knows. So we might examine it with our intelligence and say, oh, that makes sense. I'm eternal, and maybe if I do this, I'll realize my eternality a little bit quicker than if I just keep on doing what I'm already doing. And sanistita, we don't have to change anything. We can't change anything. We're not going to change our body. I don't like my body. We look in the mirror. I think I'll take another body. Open up our wardrobe. I think I'll put on this body today. see if I can become. I always wanted to be a mouse for a day. I like cheese. It should be a good day. We can't change our body. We're in this body. We can't even change one cell of the body. Study, but whatever we're doing, whatever we think we're supposed to be doing, we can stay in that, do that duty, but Stane Sita Shuddhikatam. We should hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, try to learn something from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and then Stane Sita Shuddhikatam Tanu, the body, Vang, with the words, Mano, with the mind, perform some service to Krishna. Stane Sita Shuddhikatam Vanavang Manobir Ye Priyasa Jita Titos Taistrilokyam. And then if Krishna is pleased by our endeavor to utilize our body, mind, and words, then Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Then Krishna will give us the intelligence to understand things. Then we'll understand what's going on a little bit better, at least theoretically. Unless Krishna gives us the theoretical knowledge, we won't know what to do, how to change our consciousness, so that eventually Te Shameva Nukamparatam Ahama Gyana Jamtamaha. So that Krishna will not only give us intelligence, he'll directly reveal himself to us. First he wants to see, he gives us intelligence and sees what we use this for. And then when he sees that we use it for his service, then he reveals himself to us. And we become ecstatic. Our natural love for Krishna is awakened. And then in the presence of Krishna, then all the material desires, all the avidya, that I'm something other than Krishna's service, goes away. And therefore, naturally, the tendency towards sinful activities, the sinful reactions, the sinful desires, they also go away in proportion to our becoming able to concentrate upon Krishna with love and perform activities for him with devotion. Therefore, the most important thing is to hear about Krishna, and then understand so that we can apply it properly with our body, mind, and words, and just wait for Krishna's mercy. Tate nukampam susamik shamano bunjan evat vikritam vipakam. Wait for Krishna's mercy. And although we may be in the material existence and things may not go the way we'd like them to, still we keep on hearing, try to apply what we're hearing. And then if we keep on doing that, Krishna will give us more and more mercy. And then we'll become eligible to become more and more conscious of Krishna. And that's the real success in life, as recommended here. And for those who are fortunate, who have heard Bhagavad Gita and hear this one of the last instructions, give up everything and surrender to Krishna, utilize everything in Krishna's service, and Krishna will protect us. We don't have to do anything else. You don't have to stand on your head. You don't have to fast for 3 weeks. You don't have to do any of these things. We just have to hear about Krishna and then engage what we've heard with our body, mind, and words in his devotional service while we're thinking about Krishna to please him, and then our life will become successful. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna. You mentioned that the root cause of sinful activities is ignorance. Can you please explain us a little more? How come that some people have addicted behavior tendencies, while the majority of people, I don't see that all the people have some tendencies for some addictions, for instance.
Well, everyone's addicted in the material world to one degree or another. We're addicted to eating. We're addicted to sleeping. We're addicted to some degree or another to mating and to defending. Everyone's addicted. Just that when you become more addicted than someone else, then they say you're addicted. But everyone's addicted. And the only way of ending the addiction is to become conscious of Krishna. Now, of course, we don't go around and tell everyone you're an addict. Let me check your arm. See what you're doing. No, we understand. We're also addicted. But Krishna says, Tasmat tvam indriya nyado niyam nyaba paratarshava papmanam prajahi enam jnana vijnana nashita. Therefore, in the beginning, Arjuna, regulate your senses, which means engagement in Krishna's service. Tasmat tvam indriya nyado niyam nyaba paratarshava papmanam prajahi, and therefore conquer this insatiable enemy by theoretical and applied knowledge, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So we try to engage ourselves, we try to engage others in Krishna's service, so we become Krishna conscious, and then these addictions will gradually dissipate.
Thank you.
Yes.
Maharaj, I didn't quite understand now this discussion between Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in the commentary it says that Sarva Dharma Parityajaya is the perfect last instruction.
It's not the last exactly, but
Yeah.
it's perfect.
It's perfect for us, probably. I mean, you've explained that till we come to this point, there are some steps.
Well, to get to that point, you can't just surrender to Krishna. Therefore, Ramananda Roy told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that the best way of engaging oneself in devotional service is first here. Unless we read the Bhagavad Gita, how would we know that we're supposed to surrender to Krishna?
But there is still, but this surrender has a content. So, because he still said that's external, so the content is.
It's not exactly external. Obviously, it's not. It's not. He said it's external to the purpose that he's talking about. They're not. It's not material to surrender to Krishna, but you can't surrender to Krishna unless you first hear about Krishna. You can't do anything. You can't even accept the first thing, accept things that are favorable until you find out what's favorable and why you should accept them. So to come to the spiritual platform, the first thing is to hear. Hear from the right source, Jivanti Samukharidam, with the proper attitude, not thinking oneself to be the all knower of everything. To realize that there's something I need. It's like when, for instance, unless one is suffering, generally when people are suffering, they start thinking, maybe I did something wrong. I have this my thumb is broken, it's in, 5 different pieces, and, oh, that's right, I hit it with a hammer. Then one started wondering, why I'm in this situation? So one becomes inquisitive. Why am I suffering? So it takes some inquisitiveness. If one is not inquisitive, then one thinks one knows everything, and there's nothing to be known. One may not think he knows everything, but at least one thinks, I know enough, I don't have to find out anything more. One is satisfied with one's current state of knowledge. It's called ignorance. So one has to become a little inquisitive. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, first of all, give up this idea that I know everything, and become a little submissive and hear from people who know more than you do. About what? How you, in your present condition state, you engage your body, mind, words in Krishna's service. And then Krishna will help you. So then we can accept things that are favorable and et cetera, et cetera. When we get up to that position of hearing and becoming convinced that there is a God, I am eternal, I'm a Krishna's servant, etc., then we can come to the platform of accepting these instructions that Krishna gave, which is the best instruction. We have to become qualified to accept it as the best.
Shouldn't we hear also something about the spiritual world? After all, that's our real life, real identity.
Of course we should hear about the spiritual world. Now that someone asks you, what is the spiritual world like? I don't know, they told me not to find out about it. Maybe it's like, Neverland or something.
Yeah.
It's like the moon, it's full of green cheese. So we should know about the spiritual world. But we shouldn't imagine we're there just by knowing something about it. It's like you can hear about Hawaii. It's good if you want to go to, your destination is to go to Hawaii, then you should find out what it's like. The nice weather there, you can go swimming every day, there's nice fruit there. So, you have to find, otherwise, why would we want to go there? We say, I'm offering free tickets to go to Kingoland. What's the first thing people say? Where is Kingoland? What is it like there? Why should I go there? Is it a one-way ticket or is it a two-way ticket? It's a one-way ticket. Wait a second. I got to check this place out. So we should know where we're going. Otherwise, why would we want to go there? Especially it's a one-way ticket. It's a pretty big commitment. Anything else? Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.